What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. So I'm really excited to share with you all the new renders of the new C8 Corvette. Just a little over a month ago, we got the leaked photos of the interior on the new C8 Corvette, and they really gave us a great idea of what we are going to see on the new upcoming mid-engine Corvette. As many of you are, I am beyond anxious to see the unveiling of the new Corvette, but until then, we have the ability to get a good sense of how the car will look and feel through these incredible renders. Even skeptics cannot deny the fact of how close individuals like Chazcron have gotten to previous cars such as the Mustang or Camaro renders before they were even revealed. For those of you unaware, Chazcron is a mastermind behind many of these incredible renders we see. Through their hard work and amazing skill, they give us the best look we have at the car. So let's go ahead and jump into the new C8 render. So as you can see, here's the new render done by Chazcron on the C8 Corvette with the interior implanted into the car. This is incredible because we have a perfect CAD render angle with the true interior implemented into the car. The real effect this gives the photo is surreal. I have a few things I want to point out in this photo though. With the interior placed within the body, you can see just how aggressive the interior is going to be. I really love this because after sitting in a C7 Corvette after owning my C6, I was really impressed with the cockpit feel. The new C8 seems like it will be just or even more aggressive as the previous generation. I really like the look of the seats as well. You can see that the incredible bolstering of the seats provide will be really important for track days. People that never track the cars may not realize the importance of being held into place as you fling the car around the corners at speed, but this is a vital point of good bolstered seats. In addition to this, you can see the center button stack, which is a major change from the previous generation. The center console is also different, but not so much as the center button stack from the previous generation. You get a very small glimpse of the center gauge cluster in this video, but the original photos are much better to look at from that view. We will take a look at the photos here in just a moment, but my question to you is, what is your thoughts on the steering wheel? There are several parts of the steering wheel that I like. The paddles finally look like they are deserving to be on a Corvette wheel. The previous generation really lacked on paddle feel, and their small little plastic tabs were like the gear paddles, just lacked in all aspects. But as you can see, GM has listened to their audience on this, and in addition to a nice flat bottom look which can really help with performance driving, the steering wheel itself also looks nice and beefy. This is always a good feel. The one thing I do want to point out is the downward angle of the steering wheel button area. They, in my opinion, give an odd overall look, and I've heard some of you guys comment on this. My last video over patents actually talked that the new Corvette may have an active gauge layout, which means that it could move left or right as the steering wheel is never in the way of its view. Essentially, it's able to move as you move the angle of your steering wheel. You never want to block that gauge cluster so that you will always be able to see it's actively moving. The new layout could have something to do with this, as the wide top area has really no blocking view until it's heavily clocked to one side. Now, one thing to remember is that this is just the prototype stage, which means nothing is set in stone for their final product. The steering wheel will be subject to change, and GM is constantly getting feedback on the car as it's tested. Now, I do want to take a moment to briefly go over the interior photos that we saw on the upcoming mid-engine Corvette that were leaked. The first picture is an up-close photo of the steering wheel, but we also get a really good view of the lower area under the center console. The drive selector area can be seen, which is really interesting, and will no longer have the traditional gear selector from the previous generation. The drive button is there, as well as an M for what I'm guessing is the manual button, and it can be seen within view. A circular button can also be seen, which is covered by a nice leather piece. That piece looks like it can be lifted, which is a really fun and neat aspect. My guess is this is how you will change the drive settings, such as touring versus track. Now, as of now, we don't really have any information on the drive mode selections, but my guess is they will be even more advanced than those found in the C7, which had several different modes as then. As you can see through the other photos, the interior on the new C8 looks like it will be a step above even the greatly loved C7 interior. As with anything, many people will have issues with the new look of the interior, but I feel like once the car is seen and reviewed, most people will be really happy with the final product. The C7 proved that the Corvette no longer has to be seen as a performance bargain only for performance figures. The C7 is a crazy deal on both performance and overall creature comforts. One important thing that I want to note is that we've actively been seeing test mules sighted in public, and this is actually a good thing because as we see it more, that means more testing is going on. We saw a bit of radio silence a few months ago for a while, and a lot of people were getting worried, which is understandable. See, a lot of people are aware that this is not the first time GM/Chevy has actually toted a mid-engine Corvette. Multiple times they have, and it's always failed to come to fruition. And unfortunately, a lot of people think that's going to be the case for this C8 Corvette, but I truly believe that they've hit it this time and they know where they're going with this brand with the mid-engine layout, and I don't think it's going to be the case. So I'm really excited to see them continuing to test this car in different areas, and especially in California as well as Germany. Those are great places for testing. The last thing that I want to talk about, which is really neat, is that we got a leaked animation of the new Corvette Startup for the logo/badging, which again is super neat. And we know that the logo has changed for the new generation, which always happens from generation to generation, and the aspect changed from 4.3 to 5.3. It's a little bit more angular, and so I'm actually going to show that to you guys now, and you're seeing kind of, this would be the Startup, and supposedly this is the leaked Startup, and this gives us a good idea of, as we start the car, what we will see on the screen. And it's just another fun aspect of leaked information. I didn't want to make a whole video on it, I just wanted to add it to this video because even though it's cool, it's not worthy of a whole video just for this one thing. So everyone, what are your thoughts on the new renders as well as the interior photos on the new upcoming Corvette? I cannot wait to see this car finally revealed, as I truly believe it's going to bring a new era for the possibilities of the Corvette lineup. I do want to mention that I got all of this great information from the MidEngineCorvette forum, which is a great place to stay up to date on the latest Corvette information. If you do want to check out the forum, I will leave a link in my pinned comment below. If you enjoyed the new renders and cannot wait for the new C8 Corvette, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We have tons of new content coming out on my Audi R8 as we are in the middle of filming my vinyl wrapping series. Thank you so much for all of your support, and as always, take care. See you next video.